Hi guys, welcome to Disrupt Your Norm. My name is Naomi Dunn and I'm an inner work coach, and this is Disrupt Your Norm, where I help you disrupt your current norm to help bring you to a better norm. Now, today's video is something that I almost overuse when I speak to other people and when I help other people, but I don't think I've actually spoke about it on my channel or on my podcast. And it's something I tell people, especially when they're going through a very hard time or even going through a minor inconvenience in life. And the way we experience things comes from the way we perceive things. So it's a different type of way to perceive the pain that you're currently going through, or that the pain that may come later on down the line. And this is, what if everything that's happening to me, every single bad thing that has happened to me, is happening for me? What if this is getting rid of something in my life to open the doors for something so much better? What if this is a lesson I'm currently experiencing that I need to pass in order to receive so much more goodness that's to come? You see, there's something that's called the law of polarity. And the law of polarity states that everything has two opposites. It has polar opposites to it. So this means that every single bad thing has a polar opposite and equivalent good thing to it, right? So just like there's a front of my hand and there's the back of my hand. There's a front, there's a back, there's a right, there's a left, there's an up, there's a down. There's always two opposites. And no matter how bad your situation that you're currently in right now is, there is something just as good about it that maybe you can see yet or you will see later, but it doesn't disregard the fact that there is something good about your current situation. And so I've trained myself so that when I start to see myself going down a bad slope, I ask myself, okay, law of polarity, what if this is happening for me? And whether it's happening, the good thing is happening now or it's going to happen later, can I find it right now? Can I see the doors that are opening? Can I see the potential lesson that I'm learning that's going to better me in the future, to be a better parent, to be a better partner? Can I see there is possibly something from the situation that is so terrible yet equally as good about the situation? And I ask myself, what if this is happening for me? And I always find out that it is. You see, if you choose to view life as happening for you rather than against you, your mind does confirmation bias. The confirmation bias means the subconscious continuously tries to prove the beliefs that you have. The brain goes into confirmation bias mode, and when you tell yourself continuously, every single thing is happening for me, every single thing is happening for me, the confirmation bias mode gets unlocked and you start seeing things so different. And when we see things different, we experience things different. We experience different emotions. Sometimes we just need that instantaneous, subtle shift in a really bad situation for our entire mood to change. We could be going through the most dramatic meltdown ever, emotional breakdown, but as soon as we have a perspective shift on the breakdown, on the situation, the meltdown can almost instantaneously stop. Why? Not because the bad thing stopped happening, but because we saw it for what it really was. We saw the good that could come from it. We saw it from a different light. So when you start to say to yourself, everything is happening for me, every single bad thing is happening for me, every single bad thing is leading me to a better place, every single bad thing is teaching me something I need to know to get to a better place, every single bad thing is a lesson, every single bad thing is bringing me to where I'm supposed to go, every single bad thing has something equally good about it. When you can shift your perspective, you shift where your energy goes, and you shift how you feel, and you shift how you experience life, and things start to become easier. If you have an apple and there's a bruise on the apple and you are only looking at this bruise, what happens is the more you stare at the bruise, the more it seems like the entire apple is the bruise itself. You're just staring at it, you're focused on it, your perspective is solely on the bruise of that apple. But if you turn the apple around, it could be the most beautiful, non-bruised, red, juicy, gorgeous looking apple that's ready to be eaten, but all you can see is this bruise, then you're never going to appreciate the apple. You're only going to see the bruise. When you're in your pain right now, I want you to try your best, of course, process your pain, process the emotions, but to let the ego go a little bit and to allow yourself to see what could be good about this situation. Because you see, the thing is we all have an ego, and the ego helps us to survive. When the ego becomes destructive, when we go through immense pain, when we suddenly go into survival mode, what happens is the ego likes to really dramatize the pain that we're going in and really put us into victimhood and solely focus on the pain and solely focus on how bad the breakup is, solely focus on how bad the loss is, solely focus on poor us, and solely focus on how terrible our life currently is, just to get a sense of validation. You see, when we think of someone with a really high ego, we think of the person who's staring in the mirror all the time and is obsessed with themselves. But that's not always the case. The destructive ego really tends to come into play when we're in a lot of pain, and it tends to get triggered and cause us to amplify this pain subconsciously, make it seem worse than it is, and not focus on the good that's coming from it, just so we can feel a sense of validation, a sense of worth, a sense of, yeah, I am going through a hard time. This thing is really bothering me. This thing is really horrible. I have a really hard life. Which, yes, all of those things can be absolutely true. But how much longer do you want to stay in it? Do you want to continue on to focus on the pain of the situation, or do you want to realize that the pain of the situation is bringing you to a better place? The pain of the situation could drastically change your life for the better in ways that you can't even know yet. Which perspective would you like to have? And I'm telling you, the perspective of knowing that everything is happening for you will inevitably allow things to happen for you way more often, because you are open-minded to good things happening now. You're letting yourself see good things happening now. You're letting yourself experience good emotions now, all because you're no longer focusing on the bruise of that apple, and you're seeing how good life can still be instead of dramatizing the pain that you're going through. And of course, like I said, feel your pain, process the pain, and work through it as much as you can. But understand that you have a destructive side to your ego that will want to amplify the pain. And the way to override this is to shift your perspective to the other side of the apple, where you're like, hey, this could be the best thing to ever happen for me in my life, okay? Whether you've been going through this for days or for years, the longer you're in it, the more you've experienced it, maybe the more you can help others overcome the same thing that you're just about to overcome. The longer you're in it, the more you're going to learn. The longer you're in it, the more energy you'll have to really make that full body decision to see the good parts of it instead of dwell in that pain anymore. You're going to feel so much more motivated because you'll be tired of the fact that you've been in it so long. Everything's happening for you. Choose to believe it. Choose to know it. Life will get better. You will feel better. And train yourself to see this in every single inconvenience of your life. Every minor inconvenience, every major inconvenience. Realize everything is happening for you. And there is something good about every bad situation that you're going through, will go through, and have gone through. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.